our second Out of the Darkness walk that we were able to do at OSCI. I just want to thank all of you for coming out here and participating in this. It's a huge deal. All of the proceeds that came from you guys went straight to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The clubs were incredible and donated money for people who were indigent. And this event would not be possible without all of you standing here. And the purpose of doing this really is to show that we're all not that different, right? We're all out here today. We're all supporting the same thing.
Fact is, whether you're wearing blue, gray, civilian clothes, if you find yourself in a dark place, please reach out. Reach out to someone. It doesn't matter if it's staff, if it's BHS, if it's a friend of yours, family, something.
To bring awareness to suicide, something that, typically we just don't talk enough about. I think for any of us here, it affects us in one way or another. I think at some point in our lives we'll all be affected by it, and I think that shows.
It is so important for everybody to take the time to focus on their mental health. And I know especially in Oregon Department of Corrections, there's a lot of stigma, but there's a lot of stigma in general around mental health, okay? And so please, take the time to reach out to your peers. Take the time to recognize the person who you pass by in the corridor who's not smiling. Sometimes it's one word or one look that can change somebody's day and make them feel a little bit better. So it's really important to kind of be aware of our surroundings and to pay attention to our peers.
For those of you who don't know me, and I don't think most of you do, I am an attempt survivor. I've also lost loved ones to suicide. So for those of you who have been impacted by suicide, you're not alone here today, and it's very important to remember that. Your lives matter.
Feelings and thoughts of guilt, shame, hopelessness, fear of being hurt further can leave us blind to the love others have for us. We all have a voice. Our voice carries great value, opportunity, impact, candor, and encouragement.
Prison can be a depressing place, and that's a sad reality of where we're at. But there is hope, and there are people to help you.
In 2019, I had a goal to include the segregation population. I was able to, with the help of Lieutenant Shope, I was able to get segregation involved this year. So they were able to buy items from the fundraiser as well. They obviously aren't out here, but it's a huge deal because any of you who have been in segregation know that that is one of the highest suicide rates is our segregation population. So it was really awesome that we were able to make that happen with the support of the DSU lieutenant and the support of our superintendent. I want to let you guys know that all together this year, we raised almost $4,000. So, and when I say we, I mean you guys raised like $4,000. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal.
AFSP does a lot of stuff with the money that got fundraised, but a big part of that is educating the public on how to help people who are struggling with their mental health and what to do in a crisis situation so that we don't lose people to suicide like we are currently. One of AFSP's primary focal points for where we spend the money is focused on corrections because it's where we think we can make the biggest impact. And we're doing that by coming in here to talk to you guys. Oregon was the first chapter in the nation to come into a prison. So I want you to know that that money that you guys raised is going right back to people who are like you, and you all matter.
So for us to come out here, to speak about it, to bring awareness to it, means so much. And I'm proud of every one of you who participated in this, that showed up today. They're standing here tall and proud.
everybody has an experience to share, okay? And it's really important for us to remember that and come together.
Mitahuye Oyasin. These are words derived from this soil, and they mean all my relations. It's a prayer and it's a philosophy. These are some of the oldest words ever spoken on this continent. Researchers have measured community engagement to be a primary preventive measure in the disruption of suicide. This means forming a relationship to your culture, building a community. And like it or not, for the time that we're here, this is our community. This means assuming a role in your community. It means making decisions informed by diverse perspectives and not moving forward without them. It means being needed and being willing to need others. When you reach out and share the best of yourself with another person, listening and speaking, you're saving lives. When you focus your presence and attention towards somebody who is in need, you're saving a life. Everyone has had a dark time, everyone here. And then someone found you, a friend or a stranger, and made you feel cared for and loved just for a moment, and it perhaps pulled you away from the worst. Everyone has at one point or another been the one to listen and care. Especially in here, we're each other's support network, and you've probably saved a life without even knowing it. To be in relationship. If you take a step back, you'll see that you're in relationship to all things, all people, and all times. The more you come to know and care for these relationships, the fuller and more meaningful your life will become. Epigenetics is the story of our DNA's change during our lives. It's a study. As we live, joyous and traumatic experiences actually cause biophysical markers to be placed upon our genes. These markers are also can be thought of as blood memories. Because we inherit them, it means we get them from our ancestors. Because we pass them on, it means we give them to our children. Overwhelming trauma markers can present in subsequent generations as depression, addictions, or other disorders, such as suicide. It's also been found that when you engage in positive, joyous activities, you can mitigate not only possible disorders, but you can begin to remove the trauma markers before they're passed on to the next generation. You can heal the pain of past generations, and while still passing on the good. Your ancestors live in your blood, and you have never and will never be alone. My elders say that healing happens in community, and it cannot happen in isolation. Mitahuye Oyasin. All my relations.
Let's all make it our daily mission to reach out to those we see walking the sidelines of life and voice the value they bring to the world. Our voice carries opportunity to make an impact in the lives of those who feel abandoned and lost. Let's use our voice to share a candid message of hope with those who feel life is hopeless. Most importantly, let's use our voice to encourage those who struggle with depression, isolation, and sadness. Taking a moment to share our voice has the power to forever change the trajectory of an individual's thoughts. If we fail to use our voice, we essentially fail to experience all the great value others should have been able to share with the world. So, voice, value, opportunity, impact, candor, and encouragement. Thanks again for everybody coming out.